Hello. Linux has been getting quite a lot of traction recently, and one of the reasons is because Windows is absolute dog water. Now, as someone who is never wrong, I'm objectively always right, it is so incredibly infuriating when I see people on the internet recommending Arch-based Linux distributions to newcomers. It is so stupid, genuinely. Now, the reason why we use operating systems is to have as little friction as possible between us and the tasks we are set to. And that is one of the reasons why Windows is so incredibly popular. When you open Windows and decide to, let's say, run a game or a program, you know for sure that it's going to be supported on Windows. And that might not be the case on Linux. Now, let's see why that happens. When it comes to Windows, we know that there is no other iteration of Windows. We know that Windows is the only one window. There is no Linux. What? I'm reading of a script right now that I wrote myself like late at night, and it says there is no Linux Windows. What did I write? What? Anyways, there is no Windows meant Windows? What? I was using speech to text. There is no Windows meant Windows. CashOS or something like that. What did I want to say? There is just one Windows. And that is why when developers develop something, they usually just develop it for Windows. But when it comes to Linux, there are so many distributions that they would go crazy trying to develop for every single distribution. If you want to develop an app for Linux, you would either have to develop it for Flatpak or support separately every single distribution. Let's say you don't have time to learn Flatpak and you just have time to support every single distribution amongst them. What did I write? You do the most popular ones. And that is why if you go on GitHub, let's say, if there is going to be a Linux version of an app, it is most likely going to be made for Ubuntu. What makes Linux Mint special? If an app is going to be supported for Ubuntu, it's going to be supported on Linux Mint. So if there is going to be an app for Linux, there is going to be a version for you. If you use Linux Mint. You might ask why not just use Ubuntu at that point? Because Ubuntu is shit. The script is horrible. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, the video might be a little short, so I'm going to read a letter. Dear Abdi, why has the Combine seen fit to suppress our reproductive cycle? Sincerely, a concerned subscriber. Thank you for writing concerned. Of course, your question touches on one of the basic biological impulses, with all its associated hopes and fears for the future of the species. I also detect some unspoken questions. Do our benefactors really know what's best for us? What gives them the right to make this kind of decision for mankind? Will they ever deactivate the suppression field and let us breed again? Allow me to address the anxieties underlying your concerns, rather than trying to answer every possible question you might have left unvoiced. First, let us consider the fact that for the first time ever as a species, immortality is in our reach. This simple fact has far-reaching implications. It requires radical rethinking and revision of our genetic imperatives. It also requires planning and forethought that run in direct opposition to our neural presets. I find it helpful at times like these to remind myself that our true enemy is instinct. Instinct was our mother when we were an infant species. But inseparable from instinct is its dark twin, superstition. Instinct is bound to unreasoning impulses, and today we clearly see its true nature. Instinct has just become aware of its irrelevance, and like a concerned beast, it will not go down without a bloody fight. Instinct would inflict a fatal injury on our species. Instinct creates its own oppressors and bids us rise up against them. Instinct tells us that the unknown is a threat rather than an opportunity. instinct solely and cowardly compels us away from change and progress. Instinct, therefore, must be expunged. It must be fought tooth and nail, beginning with the basest of human urges, the urge to reproduce. We should thank our benefactors for giving us respite from this overpowering force. They have thrown a switch, exorcised our demons in a single stroke. They have given us strength we never could have summoned to overcome this compulsion. They have given us purpose. They have turned our eyes towards the stars. Let me assure you that the suppressing field will be shut off the day that we have mastered ourselves. The day we can prove we no longer need it. And that day of transformation, I have it on good authority, is close at hand. So, subscribe, leave likes and leave comments.